Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Butchester. You guys know who I am, and you know what I like to do on my show. Say it with me. I want to enlighten, inspire, and empower you to become your best self. Now, scripture reminds us that the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And that's what we want to do today. We want to get you fired up about my guest. I'll be spending time today with Anna Sims, and we'll be talking about our Black History topic today. Still we rise, still we lead, and the awesome and amazing things that she does. So you know I'm going to tell you to do, go on. Get comfy, get cozy, get your coffee or get your tea because we are about to get started. Hello, Anna. Thank you so much for joining me here on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Now, before we get started, I realize that I may be introducing you to some folks out there that are unfamiliar with you and perhaps unfamiliar with your work. So, my first question to you is, what makes you you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, well, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist and wellness strategist. So I help high achieving Black professionals unlearn survival mode to create sustainable success. And then I am also, and I do that through Healing Works, I'm also the co founder of A Soulful Love, where we help engaged and early marital Black couples gain premarital education to create a love that lasts beyond the wedding day.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Definitely a woman after my own heart. I love that. I love that. Now, the work that you do is centered around helping people move from survival to thriving, from survivor
Yes.
mode to through thriving. I love that, right? How do you personally define the difference between surviving and thriving? Flip side of the
Yeah.
coin, how do you help your clients? Now, of course, full disclosure, as I would say if you were an author, if you want to know how the story ends, you got to buy the book. If you want to know the full answer, you have to purchase services. But with
Yes.
that being said, how do you also help your clients come to that realization as well?
Yeah. So I will say I define survival mode as operating from unhelpful intergenerational patterns
Mhm.
that cause distress. I think about, our ancestors who have gone through so many different things. And because of that, they had certain ways of operating that were based in surviving
Mhm.
what they were going through. But what happens is that can get passed down. And so we find ourselves operating in those ways that are no longer useful and, in fact, now become a hindrance because they keep us locked in that space of lack. Um, and I think about thriving as more so a mindset of abundance. And so a space where you've unlearned the things um, that cause that mindset of lack or cause uh, distress. Not that you won't experience challenging things, but that there's a mindset of abundance that you see yourself as worthy, of good things, that you feel a sense of self confidence in who you are and feel like you can take aligned action because you know who you are, you know your values, and you can take intentional aligned actions that are aligned with those values. So that's how I would define those. And I help my clients get to that place of thriving by first identifying what those intergenerational patterns are that they need to unlearn. Because for
Mhm.
so many of us, it's really subconscious. We don't realize that we're operating in those ways. But when I break it down and we look at, the different generations,
Mhm.
we start to see these patterns. And so I help my clients first unlearn those and then together we create a new narrative, a new story that's based on um, what what actually what actually serves them, what actually will help them create the life that they desire to live. So,
Mhm. You are so right. As you were explaining, it made me think of an article that I read where this gentleman was talking about how he was now third generation away from the the Great Depression,
mm,
and how his who he referred to as his grandparents, but they were his great grandparents, how they were all, you fix stuff, you don't throw it away. You
yeah,
use as little as possible, not as much as possible. That you're always conservative in your usage as opposed to being wasteful. And he realized that his father had a version of that, and he kind of had a version of that, but he seemed like he was the first generation that was doing the opposite. If something broke, he threw it away. He didn't call a repairman. He left the water on as he brushed his teeth. He didn't turn the water off, trying to, reserve or having to go to the well to get water. So you are so spot on there for someone who might not realize that we are carrying some of that. Now, you speak about this unlearning the survival mode, especially for Black professionals as well. What are some of the signs that someone might still be operating as far as their business is concerned? Is that different than their personal life?
I think that there is overlap, certainly. But
Hmm.
as it pertains to their business, I think first and foremost, I see it as I see not honoring their capacity. And so,
Ooh. Hmm.
yeah, feeling like if they slow down and rest, then, the money will stop coming, especially once they found success.
Hmm.
And that is based in that survival mode mindset of lack, whereas what happens is rest is actually the key to help sustain them. Taking that
Yeah.
time, to honor their capacity will actually help their success be more expansive. But I would say that is one of the biggest things. And then also shouldering things alone. And so uh, getting not getting help, whether it's, adding more people in their business, feeling like they have to take on everything by
Yeah.
themselves,
Hmm.
is also a big one that I see specific to business.
Hmm. Hmm. Being that superwoman and
Yeah,
feeling like if I don't do it, it won't get done.
yeah,
So absolutely, absolutely. Now, much of what you're doing, or as I hear it, is that you're assisting people in evolving from healing that intergenerational survival strategies. And I applaud you because that really is, um, as we would say, the Lord's work, right? Like you're
yeah.
really and truly helping people get unstuck. But why do you think it is so important for people to be able to speak it, to name it, to touch it, to point to it, that thing that they need to heal from before moving forward? I'm sure you get folks that say, yeah, I know you're a therapist and all that good stuff, but I don't want to talk about it. I just want
Yes.
you to fix me, right? Well, just fix me, right? Get to it. So, why is that a very important step that we don't need to overlook?
Yeah, the word, I think about a word that comes up, a Ghanaian word, syncopa. So looking behind so that you
Hmm.
can know how to go forward. And,
Hmm.
our body holds all of that in. And so when we don't speak it, we can't release it. And so trying to move forward, with these things that where our body and mind is harboring, without release, then makes it so that we actually can't go forward at all. And I think that I definitely understand it because I think it's uncomfortable. It's very
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable to look at those things. And it can bring up emotions that, when I think about one of our intergenerational patterns, it's not giving space to difficult or painful emotions, but just, trudging along. Um, got to keep going, keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but when that happens, there's no space for the release that is needed in order to go forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. It makes me think of be it that we were told the story like a sermon version or the meme of, you know, God's trying to give you something and you're holding on so tightly with that clenched fist, right? You can't get the more that God wants for you because you're holding on to just what you have, to the just enough.
Yes.
And it's like you gotta open your hand, you gotta
Yes.
trust. It's like I
Yes.
promise you, if you let it
Yes.
go, it's gonna be so much better.
Yes.
And just that fear of the unknown and the uncertainty, and it's like I understand, like we
Mm-hmm.
all get it, but at the same time, you really do want that person to know. I promise, if I'll hold your hand as best I can, but if you let
Yes.
go, it really is going to be worth it. I love it. I love it. Well, it is time for us to take a very short break. But before we do, Anna, if someone wants to reach out to you, if they want to follow you on socials, what is the best way to do that?
Yes, you can find me at www.healingworks.co if you want to reach out, or on Instagram. We're also healingworks.co, SCO. For any engaged couples, you can find us at www.asoulfullove.com. And we have that same name on Instagram as well, at A Soulful Love.
I love it. Alrighty, everyone. Now you know where you can visit. We'll be back right after this.
There's something I need to tell you. This relationship isn't working. It isn't good for me. I'm breaking up with you.
It's not me, it's you. I became dependent on you. And you were always there for me, even when I was at my worst. But I didn't realize the damage you were doing. You created a toxic environment. Not just for me, but others too. You were suffocating me.
We're just no longer compatible. Also, there's one more thing. I met someone else.
I'm respected in public. I'm making friends. I feel like I can breathe again.
That's how I deserve to be treated.
我们书店结束了。
तुम फिर से कभी नहीं मुझे दुख दोगे। Ni siquiera te necesito.
Parce que j'ai une autre option.
And it's a healthy relationship.
Discovery. No, just a sec.
What would it look like if we listened more? Could the right voice, the right set of words, bring us all just a little closer? Get us to open up, even push us further? It could, if we took the time to listen. The most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories. Download Audible and listen for a change.
you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Butchester. Today, my guest is Anna Sams, and she is a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mindset coach, a relationship expert, founder, and CEO. We're going to jump back into our conversation. So, Anna, your work through healing works focuses on sustainability, not just burnout recovery, right? Because so many times that's what people want. It's like I'm burning the candle at both ends. I feel overwhelmed. I'm anxious. I'm starting to get, these froze feet. I have heart palpitations. I'm losing it over here. What do I
Right.
need to do? And that's the part that they focus on, not looking really at the totality of it all. But what does sustainability, what does honoring our lives according to how God has given it to us, what does that actually look like when you are trying to explain that to your client base? How do you help them wrap their minds around that?
Yeah, I first start by helping them understand that our society normalizes reactivity. And so we don't do things that are preventative. We wait until the worst thing happens and then we react. Uh,
Mhm.
and so I first help them understand and create that mindset shift that it's important actually to be preventative. And that's what
Mhm.
creates sustainability. And then I like to help them understand what their core values are to start making conscious choices. And
Mhm.
I view conscious choices as intentionality plus aligned action. That when you're in that space where you're making those conscious choices, choices that are aligned with even your intuition, that creates sustainability because rather than doing things just because, maybe from a place of people pleasing or because it just seems like the right thing to do. And then now you're doing way too much. You're instead slowing down and actually only choosing to make choices from that space of alignment, which leads to better business practices and more fulfilling relationships and that sustainability as a whole.
Mhm. Mhm. Now, you also mentioned that you are co-founder of A Soulful Love, where you're helping prepare couples not just for their wedding, but for marriage as well. Love that you do that. So many people would ask me, why do you do premarital counseling? It's like, why not? Why you would
Yeah.
be prepared for everything else? It's like, come on, we take prep classes for all the other things that we have to do. Why not be prepared for marriage, right? To
Yes.
me, it's a no-brainer, but
Right.
okay.
The biggest decision really of our lives.
Right, like ever, right? So why not be prepared, right? So I love that you do that. So why do you believe that love requires this intention, that it requires marriage education and not just chemistry, right? Like it's more than just we vibe together, but
Yeah.
why is it important that we have that solid foundation?
It's so important because I think that so often we focus on the emotions of the moment and the feelings. But
Mhm.
after the event of the wedding day, the reality is that to create a sustainable love, it's that sustainability again. It requires skills.
Mhm.
It requires relationship skills in terms of, we talk, communication comes up a lot. So, of course, communication, but even to
Right.
understanding how you grew up, how that impacts the way that you are showing up in the relationship, and how
Mhm.
can you sort of uh, transform from your two individuals coming from two very different experiences into we are intentionally creating this thing
Mhm.
together, that might have pieces from how we grew up in it if we so choose, or
Mhm.
it may not have pieces in terms of how we've grown up in it as well.
Mhm.
And so my co-founder is Latrice Wosu, and our motto is that premarital education is a necessary part of the wedding planning experience because for most couples, they want more than just that day, full of love.
Yeah.
But,
Hmm.
the hope is to have a lifetime full of love. And that does require a solid foundation based on relationship skills.
Mm-hmm. I have found that for so many people, it is the dress. It's all about the stuff, right? Like she wants the beautiful dress, or he wants the amazing reception with the fireworks. And, it's like just and I respectfully say, like, just the social media version of
Right.
marriage, right?
Yes.
They're not prepared for the real stuff
Yes.
that comes along with that. So anytime, I just want to encourage anytime you find someone who's offering premarital counseling, and especially if they are a therapist, it is worth the investment because we're going to ask you a question that you may not have thought about yourself, especially if there's some tough things that you're going through. I find sometimes people don't want to have the conversation because they don't want to have the conversation that's going to
Yes.
lead to the argument. And the next thing they know, they're married, the honeymoon is over, and now the conversation must be had.
Yes.
And now it's really not going in the right direction if only they had had it sooner. So you guys
Yes.
are really providing a great service, and more people need to take advantage of that. Now, I really like the fact that you talk about thriving Black love. And I find that that is important because far too often we have been served the version that Black people do not love properly, Black people do not get married, Black professionals stay single far too long, blah, blah, this, that, and the other, right? And I think that society doesn't get an opportunity to hear about the love that is succeeding, the Black love that is thriving. With that being said, how do you explain or teach that thriving families and communities are still possible? They are still happening. And how have you been able to help some folks perhaps heal their relationships and have more of a ripple effect in that positive direction?
Yeah. I uh, I start with kind of similar understanding their family of origin and the patterns that they saw growing up.
Mhm.
And sort of looking at, okay, which of these patterns were, healthy patterns that can help you also build a thriving love, but which of these patterns do sort of support that idea of struggle love that we've been served, like I love
Mhm.
how you said that. And so first starting there in terms of identifying what it is that needs to be unlearned. And also I love to share with my clients that, first of all, they're worthy of thriving love, but that's also who we are and always have meant to be, before all of the horrible strife that, our ancestors have gone through, that's who we were.
Yeah.
And so that's really just a return to who we are. Um,
Mhm.
and in terms of helping couples, that is part of it. I think about even something as small as, for example, how couples, how each person experienced how their family showed love growing up. For one
Mhm.
person, it may have been, like they paid attention and they know that your favorite meal is this, and so uh,
Right.
they make an effort to make it. And you don't even have to say anything; they just know.
Right.
uh,
Mhm.
and then for the other person, it might be through verbal affection and affirmation.
Mhm.
And so when those two people come in, what happens is they're expecting that from the other person.
Mhm.
And oftentimes there's this expectation of mind reading too, that, for example, well, my family just knew, you should know. Or same thing, like, I need to hear this, you should know how to say it. but there really is a need to learn how to speak each other's language of love that requires uh, patience, understanding, and a level of even a level of selflessness of okay, this is uncomfortable because my family didn't, do the I love yous. We just showed you through action. So learning
Mhm.
this feels uncomfortable. And then that requires patience from the other person. And then vice versa.
Mhm.
We spoke it. So, okay, let me try to pay attention, to things that you like and do those things that is going to feel uncomfortable. And so helping couples uh, get to that space where they're not avoiding discomfort, but that they're able to learn each other, that they're able to
Mhm.
share, uh, you know, emotions from a place of uh, softness and vulnerability and
Mhm.
understanding. Are some of the ways that I help couples get to that space of thriving.
Mhm. And you are so right with the understanding how to express love for the other person, not just expressing what you want someone to do for you, but being able to give to the other person. I remember this was many years ago. We had a instead of a Sunday dinner, we did a breakfast this particular day, and I made pancakes and waffles. I made sausage and bacon, and of course, some other things. And one person said, "This is too much. Like,
Oh,
why did you do all of this?" And I lovingly said, and I won't mention anyone's names, and I just lovingly said, "Well, I know that this person said that they really like waffles, and just because I don't like waffles as much, I thought I'd make some for
yeah.
him." I remember this person said that she really liked sausage instead of bacon. And in fact, she preferred the link sausages over the patty sausages. So that's why we have link sausages. And it was really interesting to see how some people said, "Oh, that was so sweet. Like, wow, like you remembered that."
Yeah.
Right. And then others were like, "Don't expect this in my house. I'm not doing it."
Mm,
So you really and truly do have to learn how to do that give and receive.
yeah.
And you'll be so surprised at how just paying attention to the little things for someone else is so loving, so kind, and it makes them feel welcomed. It makes them feel seen, and you do end up having that better communication there. So I tell you, you are giving out some good stuff here. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. Well, Anna, thank you so much for not only coming on and sharing about your businesses with us, but giving us some nuggets of wisdom along the way as well. Now, listeners, of course, if you want your own full service version of this, definitely visit her website. And you guys can talk more about a program that is best for you. With that being said, Anna, if someone does want to reach out or follow you on socials, what's the best way to do that?
Yes, so for Black professionals wanting to unlearn survival mode so they can thrive, you can find me at www.healingworks.co, and that's .co, and on Instagram as well, at healingworks.co. And for newly engaged couples or newly married couples, even seriously dating couples, who are interested in premarital education, you can find us at www.asoulfullove.com and on Instagram at asoulfullove.
I love it. Thank you again, Anna, for being a guest here on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. You are so welcome. And listeners, thank you for spending some time with me here today as well. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to spend it with us. And I thank you for doing so. I hope that we have, of course, enlightened, inspired, and empowered you again today. As always, may the Lord continue to shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and his mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, remember that you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.